Let's get all sorted. I'm James.
And I'm Jeff. Today we set aside our toys to talk about video games. About toys.
Now, today we're going to be talking about a lot of video content, so check out breakingdads.com. Follow along if you want to, if you get as confused as I do about the vast array of Lego products that have been put out over the past, 18 years.
Yeah, or if you just want to take a trip down memory lane and see how far Lego has come in their digital world.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's impressive. So, well, I guess, James, I'll start off. When do you think the first Lego video game came out? If you had to guess.
Now, yeah, without having you reminded me, I would have guessed in the probably late 90s sometime. Maybe 2000s, early 2000s.
Wow, that's very impressive.
That if I just had to guess.
Which you did, because I just asked you to guess.
Pure guess. No memory of it.
Yeah, in 1997, the first official
That's
Lego
a
video
long
game
time
came
ago.
out. Yes, Lego Island.
Wow.
It was exciting. I don't know. It's a game. I think a recent review on it said it's a classic game that does not stand up the test of time.
No.
Yeah.
No animation from 97 stands up to the test of time.
No, it's
Shockingly bad.
It's in there, and it's a little hard to watch, but fun to look at. And I'm sure there are people that have distinct memories of playing this. My computer was not good enough to play this in 1997. That's my memory.
Wow.
Yes.
Your Pentium 3.
Yeah. Well, it was a Pentium 3 in 97. I don't even remember.
No, they're past that.
Anyway, there internally in the Lego group and the developers, there was a lot of debate on whether to make this a 3D game or to just stick with 2D. In the end, they said, "Hey, let's go 3D," and they did it. And so the old animation, the old graphics make it hard to watch. And the other thing that makes it a little hard is it's just covered in 90s cool, like the pizza delivery kid wears his hat backwards and rides a skateboard,
Right.
and references the fact that he's on a skateboard.
Radical.
Yeah, so that gets difficult.
Yeah, that's all.
But it was a fun little game, and it definitely was holding true to the Lego core values, and it won a bunch of Family Game Awards because it's rare that you get a good family game.
Well, it must have been, given what was out in 97, that was that was a novelty.
Yeah, it was a big deal at the time.
Where was animated cartoons at in 97? I'm trying to
Was
think.
Reboot Reboot around by then?
I don't know.
Because that was like the first
Maybe
big one.
It has that level of graphic quality.
I don't think it's at that level of graphic quality.
Not that
Because
bad.
Reboot was made using like supercomputers at
That's
the time.
true.
This was made using, home machines. So, but it was a good game and a good start, and definitely got the Lego feel in it.
Now they put out a lot of games since then, haven't they?
Yeah, since then they've released 56 different games. So that's not games appearing on different platforms, because the number skyrockets when you think
Right.
of like the fact that the Lego Batman game was different on DS than it was on the home consoles. But I'm lumping those in as one release still, because it gets just way too big
I would not
otherwise.
have guessed 56.
The big
I would
number.
have thought maybe in the low 10s.
Yeah, and I think good games probably in that range, because there was
That's
a lot of
how many a year is that?
well, if you
That's,
take 56 and you
four,
divide it by
three? I don't know.
18,
3?
it's more than 2, less than 3, something like that.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a good number. Yeah, but yeah, they have sold more than 100 million copies of Lego games
Wow.
over the years. That's a big number. So they've done very well.
Like 1 a quarter or something.
Yeah.
That's just bonkers.
Wow, if you think of it that way. And yet there were big gaps in there. It's just more recently they've been doing, 3+ a year of good quality games. So I think that's really pushing the number up, and the number's going to be even more huge going forward.
So after the
Yeah. So with the success of
Start
Lego
of that.
Island and the proof that you could digitize Lego and get the feel and make it family friendly, they went into the Lego Creator series, which debuted in 1998 with a game called Lego Creator.
Now that lasted a few years, right?
Yeah, they did a few different versions. They had Lego Creator, and then they had in 1999 they had Kingdoms, Lego Creator Kingdoms, and then they did 2 Harry Potter tie-ins in 2001 and 2002. So they were interesting. The weird thing about this is it was originally conceived to be like an evergreen replication of the physical toys that they'd add new themes to with each release. So the idea is, if Tommy likes this set or this line, then they buy this game, and then they can always be playing with those sets.
Right.
But it was definitely hampered by the limitations of computers at that time.
Yeah.
They were good. It was good builds. I remember years after it came out, I got a copy of Lego Creator in a cereal box for free back in the early aughts when they were just giving out CD-ROMs in cereal boxes because they realized, hey, old games are cheap and old movies are cheap. So they started to do that. And that was fun. I enjoyed playing with it a lot. And it did a lot of cool things with how you could build. It was not the most user-friendly for small children, I would say. And that's maybe a problem of it. They also conceived it as an actual tool that kids would use to build Lego models, which they could then drop into other Lego properties that would come out.
Ambitious.
Very ambitious, and was scrapped as soon as they realized, oh, it's not technically possible.
Yeah, that's forward thinking, though.
Yeah, and it definitely shows where the Lego group's at with what they want to do with their properties, which is the Lego bricks are key, and playing with the bricks are key, and they want to sort of extend that physical play into the digital world. And this was definitely a big step in there. Except for the fact that one of the key features of Lego Creator was a Destructa brick, which was like a little brick of dynamite that you could use to destroy a creation. And they quickly realized that that most of the kids' gameplay revolved around destruction, not creation. And that led to a lot of internal debate at Lego of how they were headed and what's the direction and how are kids going to use this and how should they use this. And because of that, the future releases added more gameplay elements to sort of balance out this creation and destruction so that you'd have missions and more linear things for kids to do.
What's funny, that's Minecraft in a nutshell, really.
Yeah.
It's like Minecraft ripped a page out of that, but then went, you know what, kids will sort it out.
The Minecraft definitely took inspiration from Lego. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
The early comparisons of Minecraft are like, oh, it's a Lego video game where you can build anything.
Exactly.
But they didn't have any brand to worry about,
No,
right?
totally.
So it was like, oh, it'd be cool if you blow everything up. Yeah, that would be cool. Let's add that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like they did for the Lego Creator series, the Kingdom one had a fire brick that originally, when you put it in the world, spawned more fire bricks and flickered like real fire. But they took it out because they were afraid that would lead to kids playing with fire. So they're, at the end of the day, Lego is responsible for a lot of kids, and they want to make sure those kids are getting good, healthy experiences, and no parents can blame Lego for anything bad. And they've done a great job of that over the years, which is why they sell so many Lego sets for birthdays, and parents buy them even though they say, oh, no more toys. They buy more Lego because it's seen as more of an educational tool than just a toy.
Right.
But let's face it, it's a toy.
And it's got longevity, which is one of the big ones for when you're investing in toys and all that stuff. You're not like, this is going to be gone in 5 minutes after the kid's done playing with it.
Yeah, exactly.
They have drained it of its educational value. This is like, they'll learn to play. They'll learn their play.
Yeah, and then you pass it on to your younger siblings, then you pass it on to your cousins.
And then the parents take it back, as they had always planned to.
Yeah, and then the kids get upset that the parents didn't keep it 25 years later when they come out of the dark ages. Not that I'm bitter about that at all, but I'm extremely bitter about my Lego collection not existing anymore. Parents. So that was...
So now there was a bit of a gap.
There were games released all during this time. They were just like Lego Island 2 and then Lego Island Extreme Stunts. And they were okay games, and I'm sure there are people out there that was their jam.
Well, it still
back in the early 2000s.
A little bit of that whole, hey, let's tap into the market.
It is, but it with Lego it feels less exploitive because they could have just shovelware. Like look at the Barbie titles that have been created by Mattel over the years.
I'd rather not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. For the most part, it's, hey, let's make this game but with Barbie in it, or hey, let's make a game where you can change dresses and do nothing else.
I wonder when we're going to see a Barbie Minecraft. That'd be horrible.
I'm sure they're working on it.
Yeah.
I'm sure Mattel's got to get back on top. They're not happy being number 2.
Yeah.
So, and who would be? But anyway, the next, I think, major release in the Lego video game world was Lego Star Wars in 2005. Lego Star Wars, the video game, which I thought it was a great title because it's Lego, yeah, we know what that is, and Star Wars, yeah, we know what that is, and a video game. Hey, that would be cool if all those things existed together in one thing. So they, and it was also significant because it was the first game produced by Traveler's Tales, and I think most people who've played any of their Lego video games would agree they do a phenomenal job on them. They understand the both brands that they're using,
right?
And they really set up the sort of exploration and puzzle solving gameplay that all the Lego games have been known for since, which is quite nice. And they do a great job infusing humor in it and not taking either Lego or the property they're working on too seriously.
And that's getting away from that whole, hey, this is cool. As opposed, they kind of, by injecting that humor and maintaining the storyline, they took the good things.
Yeah, they took the exploration, they took the fact it's Lego and manipulating bricks, all the good stuff, but they took away the I'm so radical, and it's much more, you open a door and you see a stormtrooper in his underwear in a hot tub, and you go, okay, that is something I did not expect to see ever, and now here it is.
Yeah.
And it's very Lego too, because if you wanted to, could put a stormtrooper helmet on a guy in his underwear and put him in a Lego built hot tub if you wanted to,
which is awesome.
So that since that time, Lego games have really taken off. And even the games not developed by Traveler's Tales, they definitely borrow that aesthetic and that gameplay style and the humor and try to put it in as much as possible. And that's sort of become the signature Lego video game look and feel.
And then I guess the next step is then taking all the players who are playing these things and bringing them together.
That's the goal, isn't it? Always. And especially if you're alive around 2007, when they started working on Lego Universe, which didn't actually get released till 2010. Because what games were big in 2007? EverQuest would be the biggest game, probably. And all the World of Warcraft-y type.
So they could see that it's...
Well, I think they could see two things. They could see that this is how people want to play.
Right.
And then they could also see, oh my God, they bought the game, and then they give you money every month to continue to play the game.
Well, and the technology was getting there probably for the ambitions that Lego had.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So they created Lego Universe.
But at the same time, with their fears of kids lighting fires and kids blowing stuff up, there must have been fears of kids running into adults.
Yeah, and that was definitely a fear.
Yeah.
And it still is for Lego. We'll talk about that in a sec.
Yeah.
I guess the thing you should know about Lego Universe is it had a lot of fans and people loved it, and it lasted for a whopping 15 months before they shut down the servers.
Yeah.
Now, Lego officially says that it's because they just couldn't build a sustainable model on it. They just couldn't bring in enough money. The developers have different tales and think, Lego could have held on until they built up a user base big enough and it would have been okay.
They've probably been bleeding money for 3 years on this project.
Well, if you think they started developing in 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't see any revenue until 2010, and then it's not good enough.
Yeah.
I could see why. And I think they had other plans as well in the background. But it is fun. If you look it up online, there's a lot of posts about people saying, no, the reason that it was really canceled was because of adults building bad things and kids being exposed to that. And they were worried about children and parents complaining. And that's the real reason it got down. But I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
Because if it was, I don't think they would try to go back into the online world. And they are trying. They continue to try. So that was a big game that failed miserably. A big game that did not fail miserably was Lego Batman 2. DC Superheroes is called, which is one of my favorite games ever in the history of ever. The big thing here was this is the first time Traveler's Tales actually hired a bunch of voice actors to give the Lego characters voices instead of the weird mumbly sort of minion speak they were using.
Right.
Yeah, sort of very Simsy grunts and pointing. So because of the use of the cast, they they actually decided they took all the cutscenes from the game. They developed it at the same time, so all the cutscenes told a story. They took those plus a few extra scenes and actually released it as a standalone movie. They did quite well, which makes sense for Lego because every time they've done a Lego video game movie adaptation or serial, like they've done with the Yoda Chronicles on Teletoon, they get picked up by those channels, and I'm sure worldwide they get picked up and rebroadcast, and it's just a nice way to continually make money from something you've already built.
Was it smart? That was smart.
Yeah.
Design-wise, to think of it as both streams.
Well, it's great because you can take the resources that you're spending on the video game
Yeah.
and try out something. And it obviously worked because they've
Right.
already released a second standalone movie that was developed completely outside of any video games. And the third one is about to be released as well. So they've done really, really well on spending their money on that, which is quite nice. And they're fun, and I like watching them with the kids because they have legitimate humor. And it's like all the good Lego products, it's aimed at the adults as well as the kids. So if you have an adult and a kid, you should watch these movies, and they're fun. So the other nice thing about Lego Batman is the first video game, Lego Batman, the video game. In 2014, it was named the best-selling superhero video game of all time by the Guinness Book of World Records.
And how many?
They only sold 12.81 million units
Only.
of that one game.
I bet that didn't cover any losses on anything ever. That's a lot
That's
of units.
a lot of units. Yeah.
12 million.
And it's shocking me. It's again, that's one of my favorite Batman games ever made, and Lego Batman's definitely the best Batman of all the Batmans out there. I'm sure you'll disagree. If you disagree with me, feel free to tweet me at Still Sorting and tell me how wrong I am that the best Batman is not Lego Batman. But I will go to my grave disagreeing.
And use Lego-friendly language.
Yes, please. It's sold more than Arkham Asylum, which I think most people would be shocked by, and Marvel vs. Capcom, which has been on 20 different systems and continues to sell. So it's a pretty impressive little run for our Lego Batman.
So where do they go after that? Now they got the franchises all wrapped up. They've done Star Wars. They've done DC. They're doing things that they know will work.
Yep.
Where do they go?
Well, they try to go back online again because they're like, oh, we're going to do it. And for years, there was this rumor of a crossover physical and digital game, much like Skylanders or Disney Infinity. And then Lego Minifigures Online was announced, and people thought, this is it. This is what they're working on. And there was a lot of disappointment from people that wanted a Skylanders type game for Lego. And instead, it's a massive multiplayer online game that you can unlock minifigures either through gameplay or by purchasing the Lego minifigure series blind bags that have been extremely successful for Lego. And both Series 12 and 13 had codes in them that you could use to unlock the character right away in the game, which was a good idea, but not quite the toy to digital interaction everybody wanted.
Yeah.
The weird thing about this one is their first time they went into massive multiplayer online, they started with a monthly subscription and then moved to free-to-play, which is the worst format of game ever in the history of the world.
Yeah.
It should be called costs a lot to play, but they call it free-to-play. This one started as free-to-play, but they just announced that it's going to switch over to a buy-to-play format, or as they used to be called, a game where you purchase the game and then you play said game.
That is the worst name ever.
Buy to play. Now, that being said, they also announced that anyone that has spent money on the game before it switches over will get converted to the full version. So they have like a cheap monthly, you can do a 1 month thing for around $10. I think it might even be less. I only saw the euro price and I didn't convert it very well in my mind. But for less than the cost of a full game, you can do a 1 month thing, and I'm sure that you would get switched over to the full version when they switch over to the full version this summer. So that's an interesting take.
I'm going to start using that phrase for everything, like calling restaurants buy to eat.
Yeah.
Just use it all over the place.
Yes, if you go to Olive Garden, it's free to eat until you order. They just bring you the breadsticks, and you're like, I'm still thinking, and then you leave. Right? Is that
the strategy?
Yeah, you have to pay to open the full menu. It's fantastic.
So where do they go after this?
Well, they have quite a few buy-to-play games lined up in the future here. I guess the biggest one that's coming out very, very soon, otherwise known as this Friday, if you're listening to this week, which is a weird thing to say because if you're not listening to it this week, you'll still think it's this week.
Time travel, man.
Yeah, okay. But if it's before June 12th, this Friday on June 12th, Lego Jurassic World launches. And it's a Traveler's Tale game. So it's going to be awesome. And it's going to be very similar. A lot of critics are going to pan it for being like, oh, it's the same game it always was. And it will be.
Yeah.
But that game is awesome.
Well, and it won't have superheroes.
Exactly. This time you have dinosaurs. And you get to play all 4 dino
How awesome
movies.
is that?
Jurassic Park 1, 2, 3, and World. All in one game. That's
pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, who wouldn't want to play with a Lego minifig Jeff Goldblum?
Exactly.
You know? To me, that's the most important part. Or you have to ask the question, do you have to play as a dinosaur?
That would be the best.
And you do.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Lego Brick Carnage as a dinosaur rampaging around? Yes, please.
Who needs TNT or fire when you can be a dinosaur?
Exactly. How awesome. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. People are very excited about being dinosaurs, as you should be, in a Lego video game, as you should be. So they'll sell 100 trillion copies of this one as well, and it'll be good. It'll be the second Chris Pratt minifigure video game. They haven't got I've lost it. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It's completely gone. Too many Chris Pratt movies. But he was in the Lego Movie, the video game, which that might be actually the best title of a game ever. Lego the Movie, the video game. It's like Spaceballs all in there.
Oh, it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. Yeah, so that's the most recent one to come out.
And then what's coming up?
And then the one that's going to capture my wallet and everybody's wallet. The actual Toys to Virtual Life game that needed to be made. The one they wanted when they heard Lego Minifigures Online coming out. It's Lego Dimensions.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the company that makes the best toys in the world and the developer that makes the best games based on those toys getting together to make a game where you place the toy on a pad and then play with it in a virtual world.
That's gonna be ridiculous.
I would just if there was a service where I could just link my bank account directly to them and they could just ship the toys to me as they come out, I would do that.
They can just take your organs, just harvest those each month.
Well, they may have
pay for
to.
this.
It's really I've actually and I've trying to come to terms with, I've told the kids we're not getting everything for this game.
No.
Because you can't unless you're really rich, and I would like to be really rich, but nobody pays me to do this podcast.
So what's the start point on this?
Well, you got to buy the starter game, which is going to be around $100, which is more than any of the other games.
Yeah.
But none of the other games came with Lego, where you build your portal.
Right.
So it's kind of like, hey, there's already a toy in here, I guess, is the idea. And Lego is like Apple. It's always been premium price, so I'm not too shocked on
I guess
that.
Once your parents pull you off of playing, you'll still continue playing. Get off the game, play Lego.
Yeah, because the nice thing is the minifigures go on a base that goes on the pad. But you can take the minifigures off and play with them. And I know my kids will, when their video game time's up for the day, as it always comes, they will just take the characters and continue playing.
A game like Skylanders or something, the playability outside of the video game seem more limited, whereas with Lego, that really has a playability.
Yeah, I think so. I know my 5-year-old plays with the Skylanders and plays with the Disney Infinity characters when it's not his turn.
Right. Okay.
Because they're 2-player. That's the other thing that's annoying. I've got 3 kids that are 2-player, so they have to shift whose turn it is, and he sits there and tells little stories. But he doesn't go and grab them and play with them when they're not playing video games.
Yeah, sheer boredom grab.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a thing to occupy his mind. But yeah, this one is going to be nice with the ability to play with them. That being said, if you wanted to buy the starter set and all of the Wave 1 releases, it's going to cost you $335 US.
Start saving now.
Yeah, so that's going to be, and there's way more waves have already been announced.
Oh, dear Lego.
Yeah. So it's going to be a pick and choose thing, but I have to because there's nowhere else where you're going to get to play Lego video game versions of Back to the Future or Doctor Who or The Simpsons or Portal.
No.
I mean, these are things they're not going to make. They're doing a Doctor Who ideas set. I don't think there's going to be a Doctor Who line that spins out of it. There's not a Back to Future line that's spun out of the set they've released for that. So I have the toys, but it'd be nice to play in those worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it'll be
I wonder if they're going to throttle any of their other big releases to kind of give people the economic room to deal with this,
I don't
or those
know.
different market segments for them.
Yeah, or after Lego Worlds, and then they've already announced the next Lego Marvel game. If after those two are done, are they just gonna put all the energy into level packs for Dimensions? And the idea being,
Right.
you know, instead of getting the next superhero game, get the Dimensions level set for that. And
I guess
that's the way to
Dimensions
go.
is really early for Christmas.
Yeah.
I guess that lets them deal with their production and
Fall
stuff.
is a classic time to drop something
Yeah.
that big. The other thing that I think is going to be nice about Dimensions over the other, like in Skylanders, your kids have Skylanders, and
Mm-hmm.
depending on the game, you can only use certain figures, and you can only use certain figures in certain
Right,
levels.
yeah.
With Dimensions, they've said any minifigure, any level, anytime.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with backwards compatibility
Right.
as they go forward. So far, all of the games like this, you can use the old figures on the newer games. There's just such a sheer volume from this. I don't know if they're seeing it as a platform that they're just going to add content to through downloads over time, or if it's going to be you have to buy a new game to get the new content in the future. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
It's a big undertaking, though.
Yes. Now, I don't think we're going to see Star Wars on this, and I don't think we're going to see Marvel superheroes on this, because Disney Infinity is doing Star Wars next, and that's going to be
Right.
a license to print money for them
Yeah.
going forward. And
Yeah. There must
and
be
they already have the
exclusives.
Marvel. Well, because Disney owns them, why would they give Warner Brothers and Lego the money
Exactly.
to make? It's weird because there's tons of money on the table. It could happen. But even if those properties never come, and I'm sure there's lots of people that Star Wars is a must for them. I'm sorry. Play the next Star Wars video game when they release that, which I'm
Yeah.
sure they will with the movie. So we'll see. It's very exciting, and I need it so bad.
Well,
I need it more than I need my kidney.
you got a few months to start
Yes.
selling blood and
So that'll be fun. And I'm also very mad that it exists.
yeah, I know. It's so true.
Yes. Now,
Dear Lego, why do you hate Jeff?
that game is going to cost me a ton to have awesome experiences. The next game is technically out already, but really doesn't release until 2016. And I'm sure everybody who's listening to this has heard of it, Lego Worlds,
Yes.
which is in early access on Steam. And I mean, that's got to be the best, but the best deal going at $15 to get early access to this game.
Yeah.
And eventually you'll get the full game when
and it's still amazing.
it's just walking around.
There's no question. It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and if you get bored, it's what it is. It's the game Lego creator wanted to be way back in what was that? 1998.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are 17 years later,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the game we wanted."
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a minifigure and I walk around and I can build anything at any time.
It's like Lego inspires Minecraft, then Minecraft inspires this.
Yeah.
It's
a
all
weird
full
yeah.
circle.
It's a circle of digital
But
life.
it is so delicious looking. It's like
Oh.
candy.
If you've got a great setup, like I'm playing on an old laptop and it works, and I'm very happy with it. And then I come over to your house and see it on your beautiful gaming monitor on your beautiful gaming system.
You keep grabbing the monitor.
It's because
I want a handful
when I
of
play
that.
it on yours, it's like I literally stepped into a Lego world. It's like the Lego movie, but it's changing and moving around in front of me.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't imagine I can't wait to see what they add to
Yeah,
the completed
this
product.
is the unoptimized version, right?
Exactly.
when they finish
And,
it.
I mean,
Oh.
it's mildly glitchy, but it's
Yeah.
it's so playable. There's no reason you wouldn't play this right now.
No, you should just to chase animals around,
Absolutely.
of which there's a trillion already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody in my family loves this.
And the other thing that shows that how Lego has kept on doing what they do is they wanted Lego Creator to be a space where people could make models and then take those models and put them in other Lego products in the future. Well, now they have this, and if you have Lego Digital Designer, which you can download from Lego, you can build models that you can import right into this game.
Crazy.
So that's pretty nice.
That is very nice.
I mean, if you run out of stuff to do in this game, you're a boring person.
Exactly. No, and this is a nice wallet saver for Lego Dimensions. Like,
Yes.
it's kind of you can be placated for quite a while playing Lego Worlds
Yes.
until you've again harvested enough that you can get into the Lego Dimension Sphere.
Which I'm still going to.
Yes. How could you not?
Can't not.
It is going to be so cool.
Yeah. So I guess the only thing Lego Worlds is missing right now is people want to know, like, first off, they want multiplayer, they want it badly, and
Yeah.
they're going to. They're not going to not have multiplayer on this. That'll be fun when that happens.
Yeah.
The other thing is they need some sort of, either conflict system or objectives for the people that need a little nudging or direction in their life, just so
Right.
there's something to do always.
Exactly.
And I think they'll get there.
And I hope they go, they see with Minecraft how Minecraft's got picked up so heavily by the educational community, and there's so many educational servers, and there's it's tied so nicely into education.
Yeah.
That Lego takes a note from that and starts, introducing physics and things to use for educators, so that this can become an educational thing as well. I mean, they already have their arms in that market.
There's every chance they could throw a virtual EV3 in there as well.
Exactly.
That you could, in the game, program
Why not?
the fake robots to do the things, or to prototype things you want to do with your big robot.
Exactly. I mean, you've got, again, Minecraft captures all that. So
Yeah.
I don't see, I'm sure Lego's thinking a lot about those big decisions that'll come.
They
But
definitely are. The nice thing, if you really, first off, if you have Steam, do it.
Yeah.
Just get it. You're going to be very happy with your $15, even if nothing ever changes.
even if you play for one evening,
Yeah, for $15
Yeah,
nowadays,
no.
you're going to get more than a movie's worth of entertainment out of this product already. That being said, the other nice thing is the developers are listening. The reason they went early access was, well, to work out some bugs, obviously, but also I think they've built this machine and they've said, okay, now what do people want from it?
yeah.
So join the early access, play it, let your kids play it, ask them what they want, and then go into the developers are on the forums on Steam. They're listening. So tell them what you want. You might have the idea that makes them go, I never thought of that. We should do that.
Which is, it's exciting to be able to be involved in the process instead of just being handed a finished product you may or may not want.
Yeah. And if you don't get involved in the process and they release it and you think, oh, I wish it had
No
this.
right to complain.
Exactly. You have only yourself to blame, which you should. You should blame yourself.
So there's a lot to look forward to in the next year.
Yeah. It's a interesting time for Lego because they're going to release their 500 plus sets this year, which is a gross amount of physical product. And they've got these games coming out or have already come out. I mean, there's no end of entertainment. I guess Lego has always been worried that the virtual Lego worlds are going to overshadow their physical product. Now, obviously, their physical product is doing very well.
Yeah, there's no fear of that.
But I think there still is, and I think they always want... Well, I guess that's the question. Are they going to use the video games to sell the physical product, or are they using the physical product to sell the video games?
It's both. I think that those audiences, you go through a phase when you're more into video games than toys, and then you go back to toys for a while. And I think especially with things like Dimensions, you're going with both. There's both things happening at once. I think my kid, as he gets older, is going to be into different things. He'll be into the EV3 for a bit, then he'll be out of it.
Yeah.
My daughter will be into one thing, and then it just keeps shifting. So I don't know. I think
so as long as they're playing heavily in all the markets, they're going to be perfectly fine.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they've got a good strategy for that.
I mean, you have to give them credit. They have, like, Apple would be happy with their brand loyalty.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I mean, like, even my kids, and I've never taught them this, but they're like sorting through the Lego. They're like, oh, it's a Mega Block.
Right.
It gets set aside. And it's not just blind loyalty. The Mega Block piece isn't as nice. The color's not as nice. It doesn't fit as well. It doesn't lock as the tolerances are not as good. And that's the reason they like Lego best.
Well, and I think if Lego's been smart to they've never done anything to really cheese off their user base.
Yeah.
So
I mean, with the online, their mistakes in the online world has sort of really left some people chafed.
Right.
But I think the nice thing about Lego is there's a new generation of kids
Around the corner.
just discovering Lego today. And then tomorrow there'll be another however many million kids just discovering Lego today. And that's that's where I think they can survive. And that's why they always are a toy company first,
Right.
designed for kids. And, adult users like me, they do their best to service me, but I'm nowhere near their top priority.
Well,
And I shouldn't be.
As long as everybody using it is having fun.
Yeah.
And if it stops being fun or it starts being gross with the way the economics get or, something else gets in the way. But as long as the fun is first and foremost.
Well, that does remind me, yes. There was a company that Lego contacted to try to build some sort of filtering device for inappropriate content in Lego Worlds. And their response was, nope, it's just not possible.
Wow.
So I think Lego's going to... I think that's why not having a massive multiplayer, if you just have servers...
Well, again,
and
follow
if
the
you,
Minecraft
if you tell the
model.
parents, don't go on public servers.
No.
Exactly. Yeah, follow the Minecraft model. There are tons of inappropriate things in Minecraft that your child won't be exposed to
No.
because they're not going on those
But
servers.
there's also tons of educational servers.
Exactly.
Moderated by teachers.
Yes. Although the students outnumber the teachers by a large degree and can probably do stuff. But
Real world.
yeah, exactly.
It's life. It's
It's
life.
true. It's true.
Hey, parents, do your parenting.
Yeah. That's our other podcast, isn't it?
That is. There's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, so it's exciting times.
is.
It's for everything about my wallet. It's exciting times.
And then next week we'll get back to physical product, which is again just all suffering for your wallet.
It's true. One of us in this
Love
room may or
and
may not
suffering.
have recently built a Quickie Mart out of Lego.
I would like to hear more about this.
It was good times. And we'll talk about it another time.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
You're James.
You're Jeff. We will see you next week.